The dark corridors of the derelict space station echoed with eerie silence, broken only by the occasional hiss of leaking pipes and the flickering of failing lights. The USS Nostromo-II, an abandoned research vessel, drifted through the void, long forgotten by its creators. But deep within its metal husk, something stirred, something ancient, something lethal. A distress beacon, weak but persistent, pulsed from the ship's decaying communication array. It was this signal that caught the attention of Skynet, the artificial intelligence ruling over a ravaged Earth. Seeing an opportunity, Skynet dispatched a T-800 unit to investigate. The cybernetic assassin, clad in synthetic flesh, arrived via a drop pod, its landing shaking the station's fragile structure. With red eyes glowing in the dim light, the Terminator stepped forward, scanning its surroundings with machine precision. It had one mission: assess and neutralize any potential threats. The station was a graveyard of failed experiments. Blood-streaked walls bore evidence of desperate struggles, and broken glass crunched under the Terminator's heavy steps. The scent of decay, though irrelevant to its artificial senses, clung to the air. Organic life had perished long ago, but the station was far from empty. Skynet's data suggested that the ship had been conducting experiments on an unknown alien species. The files recovered from human networks described a perfect organism: resilient, adaptive, and relentless. The Terminator, programmed for efficiency, had no fear. It moved forward, methodical and precise, weapons at the ready. A sudden skittering in the ventilation shaft made the machine pause. Its head tilted, calculating angles of attack, identifying the source. A black, sinewy creature slithered through the darkness. The first xenomorph lunged, its elongated skull reflecting the dim emergency lights. With inhuman speed, it closed the distance, acidic drool dripping from its maw. The Terminator fired its plasma rifle, the bolt of energy searing through the alien's ribcage. The creature screeched as the shot sent it crashing into the wall, its acidic blood hissing as it ate through the metal floor. But more movement followed. The first xenomorph had been a scout. Others were coming. The Terminator switched to its secondary weapon, an automatic shotgun, just as three more xenomorphs emerged from the shadows. They circled, their biomechanical bodies moving with unsettling fluidity. The T-800 opened fire, buckshot ripping into their exoskeletons. One went down, but the other two leaped, their claws slashing at synthetic flesh. The machine did not feel pain, only damage. It crushed one xenomorph's skull with its bare hands, throwing the twitching body aside. The second alien wrapped its tail around the Terminator's neck, trying to crush its internal mechanisms. The cybernetic assassin responded by grabbing the creature and slamming it into a wall with bone-crushing force. The xenomorph's body went limp, its acidic blood splattering onto the Terminator's arm. The metal hissed, corroding at a dangerous rate. Damage registered, but the mission remained. Deeper into the station, the Terminator moved, its sensors picking up a much larger presence. The hive. The walls pulsed with an organic, chitinous texture. Eggs lined the chamber, their tops twitching as if sensing an intruder. The machine analyzed the data. The heart of the infestation lay ahead. It would destroy the Queen, ending the threat. Before it could proceed, an ear-piercing shriek filled the chamber. The xenomorph Queen emerged, towering over the Terminator. Her multi-limbed form moved with both grace and terror, her inner jaw snapping as she assessed this new enemy. The T-800 fired, plasma rounds striking the Queen's armored hide. She screeched but did not fall. Instead, she retaliated with a swipe of her massive claw, sending the Terminator crashing into the egg-laden floor. The machine recalibrated, quickly rising, but the Queen was already upon it. Her tail, a deadly spear, shot forward, impaling the T-800 through the chest. Sparks flew as internal circuits shorted. But the Terminator was relentless. It grabbed the Queen's tail and pulled, forcing her off balance. Its other hand reached for a thermal grenade. Activating it, the machine lunged, shoving the explosive into the Queen's mouth just as she shrieked in rage. The explosion tore through the hive, fire consuming the Queen's body. The chamber shuddered as structural integrity failed. The remaining xenomorphs screeched in unison, their hive mind sensing their Queen's demise. The Terminator, damaged but operational, processed the results. Threat neutralized. As the space station's core imploded, the T-800 calculated its next move. The mission was complete, but survival was optimal. It activated an emergency escape pod, launching into the void as the USS Nostromo-II was swallowed by fire. Drifting through space, the cybernetic assassin awaited Skynet's next directive. The xenomorphs had been formidable, but in the end, they were only prey to the machine's unstoppable pursuit of efficiency. The war between flesh and metal continued, but today the Terminator had won. The pod floated through the vast expanse of space, silent and untraceable. Inside, the Terminator ran diagnostics. The outer synthetic flesh had been partially destroyed by xenomorph blood, exposing sections of its metallic frame. Damage was at 40%, but the core processor remained functional. As it calculated potential destinations, the pod sensors detected an anomaly. A massive vessel, much larger than the doomed Nostromo-II, loomed ahead. Its design was unlike anything Skynet had in its database. It was a biomechanical nightmare, a ship that pulsed as if it were alive. The machine processed the data and recognized a disturbing possibility. The xenomorph infestation extended far beyond the station. The vessel had likely received the distress signal as well. The Terminator's red eyes flickered as it assessed new parameters. A new mission formulated: locate, infiltrate, and eliminate the source of the infestation. The xenomorphs had lost the battle, but their war was far from over. As the escape pod neared the alien vessel, the Terminator armed itself once more. The hunt would continue,